July 6th, 2023. I'm here with Matt Ellis and the man, Dalton Duncan. Now, I was first introduced to you at my last event, Strongest Badge 5. You proceeded to beat my teammate, Billy Krupp, 3-0, and then basically demolish one of the most stacked 172 brackets I've seen in a while. And I don't think I'm just being biased because it was my event. There was, I think, 9 of the top 15 guys in that bracket. And I'm pretty sure you were undefeated through that bracket, weren't you?
Yeah.
Right-handed?
Yeah. Yep.
So you went through the entire bracket after a super match, including Dustin Hyatt, who you turn around and replace in this match with Austin Tevis coming up, who's ranked number 2 now. And it seems to be that people are sleeping on you. Do you feel that way?
For a minute.
So you kind of been on the shelf a little bit. Where you been for 2 years?
Just working, man. That's about it. Justin fell off for a little bit, and Alabama kind of got boring. So I hit a couple practices in Tennessee and Mississippi, but it just got everybody down when the Bishops got out. Wasn't nobody doing anything, and so everybody just fell off a little bit, I guess.
Were you still pulling it all and working, or did you just completely lay off?
I probably got off the table for probably a good 8 months before I got back on the table. And then it's still, it was like a once a month thing or once every other month. I mean, it wasn't really that great. We're used to practicing every 2 weeks.
So you've been back at it for a while, though, now.
I did my first tournament back in Tennessee where I pulled David Redmond, left-handed. I went on to – I beat him 3-0, pulled pro 176 both arms, and got first place both arms. I went undefeated right, got a 1 loss left-handed, but I ended up coming back in the finals and winning it. That was my first tournament back in, 2 years-ish.
So, and you're predominantly right-handed, but that left hand's no joke either. You still took second at that left bracket at Strongest Badge 5, right?
No, I didn't place left-handed. Billy and Greg put me out. I beat John first match, and then I beat I don't know the other guy's name, but I went 2-2 left-handed.
Gotcha. So your left's coming along, then, you're saying?
Yeah, it's coming along. I feel like it's gonna surprise some people now.
I know Matt likes to hear that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with losing to those 2 guys in a bracket that was as stacked as that tournament. Both those guys are extremely strong, left-handed as well as right. So I think, just based on your performance there, I'm interested to see how you progressed with your left as well as obviously your right, since you've kind of stepped back from the sport for a little while. Usually, in my opinion, it's a good thing to take a break, to kind of heal up and then reassess. So I think most people come back, in my opinion, stronger.
Yeah, I tweaked my elbow in practice against Justin, and it wasn't the same for a while. I couldn't even straighten my arm for probably a week, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna lay off a little bit, and then so it's probably good he got out of it when he did, because I was just probably just gonna still Todzilla it and not listen to my elbow.
Yeah, and I know I've seen a couple just training videos here and there that float around with that group that you mentioned. How close do you live in proximity to Justin and his family? Because I know you said you practiced every 2 weeks. Is it quite a drive, or are you pretty close?
No, that's probably 15 minutes.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's nice.
I worked for him for a little while, so he ain't that far.
Yeah, just down the road.
Yeah.
And And so I'm assuming you work construction, and so that probably plays a role into your style as far as arm wrestling goes, right? Because you use your hands consistently day in and day out.
I used to after I moved away from Justin's business into liquid fertilizer and 50-pound bags all day. So a lot of hammer curls consistently every day.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you know about Austin Tevis?
I know he's got a weak wrist. No, I've been watching him. I try to. There's not a whole lot of footage on him. Speaking of, he's a strong newcomer. I've watched him in this one super match. They went right-handed and left-handed. You can definitely tell his right hand's on a different level than his left. His left strong. I mean, you've seen what he did to Tim Lewis, but his right is where his money's at. But he's gonna have a weak wrist against me. Is all I gotta say.
Give me that hand, boy. Right? Isn't that the saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of been retired for a little bit. We haven't seen it, so
Yeah.
It's going to be good to see you back in action, at least up this way.
Hopefully, I'm bringing my my brother. So hey, we're gonna take over the little lightweights.
Is that the whole team? Just you and your brother? You got any more guys
Yeah.
coming?
Yeah, that's. I think that's everybody from Alabama. It's just me and my brother. I tried to get Justin, but he's all into this East versus West match. So
Understandable. Yeah, I think the one thing I'm thinking about, a question that pops in my head, because you said there's not much footage of Austin out there. Does that make you nervous at all? Because you're kind of coming into an unknown match, not really having gripped up with him. You don't have a lot of footage with him, whereas somebody that's more well known, you kind of can go and see how they pull in different positions and things like that. Does it affect you in any way mindset wise coming into this, and does it change your training methods at all?
no, I will sit here for like with Billy. I'll sit here. I'll try to look footage on him, whatever. I'll come in there with the game plan, but once we get locked up, it's going to completely change. All I have to do is feel one thing, and I will go a complete opposite direction.
That makes sense. And just out of curiosity, because I know you're normally pulling about 176, 165, if you will. What do you normally walk around at? Do you normally have to cut down to make these classes, or do you pretty much walk around that weight?
I think I'm walking around right now around 172. So I don't think I'll just be walking up. I may have to probably not eat that morning or whatever to weigh in, but that's my normal walk around weight.
Austin is probably going to be cutting, like I would say, 8 pounds or so. Do you think that would play as a disadvantage to him since you're able to just walk in at that weight and he's having to cut weight?
Nah, I don't think 8 pounds face him.
You don't pay any attention to that at all?
No.
So
you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know you have a lot of tricks in the basket. You're a pretty savvy puller, but we all know it's basically going to be you trying to top roll out of Austin's hand, right? And Austin trying to stop that and crunch you in and turn you in, right? I mean, we know that's what's going to happen.
I wouldn't say I'm going to try to top roll him. I mean, it's going to happen. There's probably I don't know a whole lot of people at 72 that's just going to not let me take their hand. Other than Greg Allen, probably. But Greg Allen has this huge hand. It was hard to get around him. But it's going to be taken. I'm almost going to promise that.
If you don't take it, do you have another lane?
Yes. Right-handed, I probably have a good amount of lanes compared to my left. But I still feel uncomfortable left-handed in certain situations, but right-handed, I can go anywhere and still feel comfortable.
For being 170 pounds, especially just walking in with that, you have a pretty big frame for that weight, so that probably plays into your advantage quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I would imagine so. There's only one guy that has like matched my length since I've been in this sport in weight classes I pull in. But definitely having the longer arm helps a lot.
I feel both of you guys might be underestimating each other a little bit, so that makes it interesting going into this. I don't know if anybody really knows, but we were looking for a match for you prior to this match even opening up, and nothing really had fallen into place. And then when Dustin backed out, you were real quick to jump in, and not only jump in, you guys have put $1,000 each onto this match. So not only did you jump in right away, no questions asked, but you're putting a stack right behind it. You guys, somebody's walking away with $2,000 on this, so the confidence is definitely there from both sides. Do you feel that you're just that much better than him? Do you underestimate him, or do you just think that you're just that much better than everybody?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not going to underestimate nobody, because the last time I did that, I got 3-0'd by Robbie Russell my first year into the sport. So after that, there was no more underestimating anybody. I don't have too much training time like I used to, but I can still train a little here and there. And then at work, there's a little bit of training I can do with how I work. So there's a little bit going on.
Do you focus more on the table time, or are you kind of split? Do you do table time and then also try to do some things off the table to kind of supplement?
It's probably even.
Even?
Yeah, it's pretty even across the board on that one.
Has it always been like that, or did you used to do a lot more table time and you've tapered off to that?
Yeah, my first 3 years into the sport, I never touched a weight. It was just every other week at practice was all the table time I got.
Do you feel fresher because of that when you're not being on the table as much?
Yeah, definitely. If I try to go once a week, and then, some of the Alabama pullers like Justin, Josh, we have Nate Adams and Glenn Brooks. Let them wear down on you for a minute. I promise you're going to be wanting it every other week, not every week.
Yeah, Nate and Glenn are not small, and very strong too. Yeah, big guys.
So I assume you plan on pulling the tournament as well after the matches?
Oh, definitely.
Try to collect some new gladiators?
Of course.
And did you see the ref lineup that we have?
No.
Okay, so the refs for the event are going to be Sean Hancock, Leonard Harkless, Keith Michelle, Pat Barry, Rance Clayton, and then John Peters and Bo Edgar.
Nice.
If you could choose your referee for your match, who do you pick for your top and bottom refs?
Sean would be probably number one, what's his name? The second guy you named off. He's an older guy. Yeah, them two are my top picks. Probably anywhere. You put them in any stage, I would like both of them on top. I don't know too much of any more of them, but refs really don't bother me none at all. I don't mind the ref. Some are stricter than others, but I still get my way.
Gotcha. So what I'd like to do, unless you have something else, Matt, before we do this, I'd like to maybe get your thoughts on the other matches that we got going on in this card and see what you think about them.
Name them off.
First up is Lincoln Munger and Tim Lewis.
I have no clue who the other guy is.
Lincoln Munger,
No.
I assume.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Lincoln Munger is
Tim, 3-0.
Tim Lewis 3-0.
Tim all the way. I don't know the other guy.
I think Lincoln's newer to the sport. He hasn't been in quite as long. I believe he trains with Austin Jaggers. So I'm sure he has a good training group, and he's confident coming into this. Obviously, he's not pulling somebody that's a pushover by any means. And from what Bill said, and from what we've been hearing, is he plans on pulling Tim in a hook. So I'm interested to see what he's got. Yes.
Good luck.
Yeah. I think if he's able to stay in the match with Tim and even get it to his side of the table, he's doing something, because Tim's hook is different.
Yeah, and he can sit there all day.
Yeah.
All day.
What about Joel Cagle and Oscar Anderson?
Joel, all day.
All day.
Joel's taking that one.
Are you familiar with Oscar?
Yes. Yeah, I pulled him.
Okay.
I pulled him in Kansas City. I don't think we got a chance to pull at your tournament. I think he got put out before he got me.
I don't think he was at the last one, actually.
The one I was at?
I don't think Oscar was there.
I'm sure he was, because he was loud.
He was there.
Okay. Yeah, he was. He made it.
I think left-handed he got put out before it got down to the top 4 or 6, if I remember right. I think he got kind of a tough draw. He had a couple guys that were.
Yeah.
I think Greg beat him, and then I can't remember who else beat him.
I don't know if there was a good draw in that bracket.
No.
No, you some heavy hitters in every time you turned around.
Yeah. That 72 class at that strongest badge was probably the deepest I've seen since WL tournaments, like the regional tournaments. Like, there was nowhere to go. You didn't have an easy walk to the top. I mean, you had to go through people the entire time. So it was
That's
fun to
why
watch.
I'm A-side pretty quick.
I'm going to be honest with you. It really surprises me that you picked Joel. I would assume you would have picked Oscar.
I like Oscar. Just Joel's coming around, and he's getting better and better. I mean, Oscar is he might get in Joel's head. I will give you that. He's probably going to get in Joel's head. All that screaming, now to get in everybody's head. But I think Joel's power is getting there, and that's going to play a big role in it.
Yeah. I think this is one of the closer matchups on the card. I think it's going to be probably one of the most entertaining ones, but from a matchup standpoint, I think it's one of the closer ones, and it can go either way. I think a lot depends on how well prepared Oscar is coming into this, because he's had some time off, whereas Joel's kind of on the ascent. He's getting better, like you mentioned. He's getting stronger. So it's interesting they're catching each other at this time frame, and I think it's going to be a war going back and forth.
Definitely. Possibly. I don't know, but I still got to pick my boy.
Not just pick him, it's a 3-0.
It's a 3-0.
3-0. What about Sam Taylor and Caleb Velasco?
Sam's going to have to take that one, man. I have watched him develop into a beast, and he's just on a roll right now, dude. Caleb is too, but Sam is all around there over Caleb. I'm not taking anything away from Caleb. I'm just saying Sam's at a different level than Caleb is right now.
Yeah, and Sam's used to, I think he had the element of surprise up his sleeve, where he would show up to a table and people didn't understand that he was going to bring that much power.
Yeah.
And I think he's losing that now. People know who he is, and he's doing even better. So
yeah,
it's kind of crazy to watch. But Caleb is also showing up in his own right, and knows what he's stepping into. So hopefully
he's
definitely interesting.
Fast. He hits and hits and hits and hits. It could put some wear and tear on Sam, but that's only if Caleb will get the hit.
Yeah.
So it's all going to depend on that hit first.
What about Cody Vanderwood and Cole Casper?
That one I'm actually excited to watch. I feel like they're going to be grinding the whole time. I feel like it's going to be another Grant pitcher and what's his name?
Palco?
Yeah, Palco. Just grinding matches the whole time. And I honestly don't think I can pick one, but if I had to, I'm going to have to give it to Cody. Cody just seems a bigger frame. I feel like he can probably sit there, hold it a little bit longer than Cole will. Cole's going to be a little bit faster, though, I feel like.
Agreed.
So I'm going to have to give it to Cody.
So do you think that they just bang it out right in the middle, or do you think one of them ends up running?
No, they're going to bang it out right in the middle, and it's probably going to go 3-2. It's going to be a grind. I think everybody's going to be excited about that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's possibly the closest matchup on the card, in my opinion. It could go either way. It's going to be something very minute or very small that dictates who wins that match. So that's probably the most excited, and I know both of them are motivated coming in, and I think Cody's ready for this one. He's ready to take on the challenge.
Yeah.
We also got another Californian, Scott Wynn, coming in to face Billy Croup, who you're pretty familiar with. Have you ever pulled Scott before?
No, I haven't. Never went out that far. Never pulled him. I've watched him pull. Didn't he just go against Brandon Morris?
Yes. The Florida against California super matches out in California. Yeah.
And Brandon just babied him the whole time.
I think to be fair too, though, I believe I don't know if they were making 190 for those. I don't know if there was a cap.
What's the cap for this weight?
190.
Oh, they some big ones in. And Billy at 190 that's gonna be a killer, dude.
He's strong.
Billy's hand, his hand and wrist. I'll probably show him a couple moves before he gets up there, but he's gonna take his hand. Billy's got that really strong high posting top roll. It's hard to deal with if you don't know what you're doing, and I'm gonna have to go Billy. It's 100% Billy, 3-0.
Oh. They don't know anything about each other either, so they're coming into it blind. Neither of them cared. It was pretty good, and I like that match. I think stylistically, it's interesting for sure. What about Mirzad Kablic and Bo Olsen?
We're gonna have to go with Bo. I don't know the other guy.
You know the other guy? Yeah, he's newer. Yeah. He's a younger guy off of my team.
You can't do that. Bo's gonna put a whooping on him.
Bo's beat everybody else we've thrown at him, so we gotta start digging.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Mirzad's coming up strong, so he's definitely not to be reckoned with. He's biting off something big, and he's jumping in the deep water for sure. But that's what he does. So should be interesting for sure. He's training hard for this one. That's for sure. But I have heard that Bo's coming in stronger than he's ever been. So
that's scary.
Yeah, that is scary for anybody at all. Hopefully he jumps into the tournament as well, and we see what he can do there. I know he's only one-armed right now, but
yeah.
What about Jake Houston and Kevin Palco at 165?
Jake Houston's winning that one.
Jake Houston, there was no hesitation. You even beat the mic.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be. He's going to come out. Palco may get one round, but it's probably going 3-1. Jake, back when I first met him, and this was before the surgery, he had unbelievable power to be where he was at. You know, I could only imagine what he's feeling like right now after having a great surgery and really getting to training. I mean, he's gonna be a beast.
He's definitely explosive and kind of like you. I think people forgot about what he has done in the past and where he was at because he was very highly ranked. And then he had his issues and it was away for a while, and then people just forget about it. And sometimes
Yeah.
these guys come back and you don't forget how to arm wrestle. So I know Kevin Palko's not underestimating him, but from the outside,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that matchup just because of the stylistic differences between the two. The adjustments that are going to have to be made on each end if something doesn't go their way is what I'm interested to see. So if if Jake can't beat him up top, then he's got to come in to Kevin and go into a hook. That's what I'm interested. Or does Kevin try to go up top or try to go into a quick press and get to the straps and then press through it? That's what I'm interested to see what happens.
I don't think Palco's going to try going up top with him.
Yeah.
If he does, it's going to be an easy win for Jake, I believe. He's going to have to stick to try to cupping him in and going where his bread and butter is. You've seen him pull. He had his hand, but he doesn't at the same time. He's got this little stick point, and that's probably going to be rough to get around. But it's definitely manageable, as you've seen at that round robin. But I heard he was also injured, so who knows? But
he just pulled Arm Wars. What was that, a week before, 2 weeks before?
5 days.
Yeah.
5 days.
Yeah, I don't think he was injured. I think it was more he just pulled.
Yeah, that's tough to take on a round robin after a big super match like that. That's a lot of pulling in one day.
And the monsters that was in that one.
Yeah,
that was hard. If he would have came out on top of that, man, somebody just go ahead and give him a medal, give him about everything. Just everybody better start liking second place.
Yeah.
I think that's why you saw him pulling the ways that he was pulling. He wasn't pulling like he normally does, like you said, his bread and butter. He wasn't really going there, and I think that's probably more the reason why.
Yeah.
I have to ask, because you've obviously watched that round robin. How it shook out? Was that the way you thought it would go? The top 4 guys, was that who you picked as the top 4 or 5?
100%. All 4 of them was there that I wanted to be there. I said this probably 3 months prior to I said it was either going to be Hunter Knopf's or Roman, and in how that played out. I knew Cody was going to be top 3, which he was, luckily. I thought now it was kind of risky because Dylan Burns, man, he's ridiculous. Like, I guarantee he probably walked in and weighed 140 with clothes on. Like, just imagine a kid at fucking 160 dropping just 6 pounds, He would be a beast. But definitely that's where I was at.
Cody is the one that surprised me. I didn't have him in my top 3. I thought he was going to be too green for that tournament, and the guys would outsmart him, basically. So he was very surprising and impressive for what he did.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the pullers wanted to test his inside game, which was just, you don't go there with Cody. You do not. He's just way too much right there. And then, I mean, you've seen Hunter Knopf and him go at it. It didn't last long. He needs to work on that skill of hitting beforehand. Just Hunter's speed on that tournament was just ridiculous. And the power that came behind it was just even more ridiculous,
Yeah. I thought they gave him a huge advantage, and I think it was at USAF Nationals when I was talking to Dylan. That was the first name that I had mentioned was Hunter Knopf, and I'm just like, just his style for that round robin setup, because he's so fast, and like you said, follows it up with the power as well. It's a good style for a round robin, which is very hard to judge anyway because your draw plays such a big factor in it and how the matches play out. So he was extremely impressive, and I tell you what, he looked very big there too. I don't know if he's just big for 55 or how his cut was, but he looked huge.
when me and him had a super match in Georgia, and at 160. So I was walking around at I was at 182 2 weeks prior to that match. I weighed in Friday night, 160. Went to Golden Corral, probably ate everything there. He came in Saturday, weighed in on the spot, fully clothed, and still didn't even hit 160. And it was still the hardest super match I've ever had. So just imagine him now at my weight, which is I think he's walking around at. I mean, he's just going to be a monster.
Man,
Do you
fun to see.
do you have any ambitions to cut down to 154 or anything down there? Or you comfortable where you're at?
No, this is the lightest I've been in a while. I was not planning on losing weight and walking around at this. I was wanting to walk around at around 180ish, 185. But with me not training, I didn't really take my diet seriously, and just thing fell off. So now that I'm at this weight, just 154 is a little bit too small for me, man. I mean, I would probably be pretty good at it at 54, being 6'2". But I don't know if I could do that weight cut. That would be rough.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, man.
Yeah.
Matt's all about cutting weight, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, let me tell you, if I can make 165, I feel like anybody can make 165. You know what I mean? Like it's a stretch, but yeah. Well, I made 165 a long time ago before kids and marriage and good food came along. So.
Right.
I could make 155, but I would be in like UFC fight shape.
Right.
Be all jacked.
They say Chad Silvers can make 176 right now.
Really?
Good Lord.
He would be just all biceps. That would be it.
Yeah, that would. I can't even tell you the last time he's made 176. It's got to have been at least a decade ago.
It had to have been a long. Man, first time I seen him, I was weighing in for a tournament and we were signing the papers. And I watched this kid come up, start signing. His arm came out, and I said, "God, dog, what is that?" It was little big old Chad Silvers. But that's a big old dude right there.
Yeah, definitely.
He went on to win that tournament pretty easily.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's been around a long time too.
Yeah, I've watched some old videos on him when him and Todd used to run around.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably had the strongest team, I think, in the U.S. for 5 to 10 years because they were all training together and all the way from 54s all the way up to 98s, and then I think even 220s. They just pretty much ran every tournament they showed up to.
Well, they're definitely getting that again. You got Hunter Knopf, lightweight. I think if they say Chad can make 76, then he's lighter than Adam. So you got 3 classes, and they just dominate wherever they go.
Yeah.
We did add a match to follow your match, and that is Brent Rockers and Scott Ballinger as a lefty match.
Oh, lefty. I'm trying to remember Scott. I know I remember. No, that's that real tall, skinny guy, ain't it?
No,
No,
you might be thinking of here. Let me see if I can pull it up for you.
real tall. No, that's that Roger guy.
Yeah, you're thinking.
It's just me.
Roger Cunningham is who you're thinking of up from, I think, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So Scott's over from Indiana. He's been pulling a long time. His dad, Bill Ballinger, is a great puller as well. Scott is probably, 220, 230, but just thick and just nasty strong, the raw power.
I probably know him. But Brent is really hard to bet against. That's one guy that's real hard to bet against.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm going to know it later on. I'll search him on Facebook and look, but I'm going to have to go with Brent.
Scott just won Michigan State at 220 left-handed. He's only competed left-handed the last 2 years because he's had some issues with his right, but he's extremely explosive. He did come to Strongest Badge, the third one, And although he lost his match to Doug Allen in the super match, he turned around and won. He won the overalls, his bracket, and everything. The overalls, I think, went undefeated everywhere after that.
Well, you told him to holler at me. I'd have taught him something a little bit about Doug.
Yeah. This was what, 2019, I guess, was Strongest Minds 3, so.
That was right as Doug back into it.
Yeah, it was a good match, but he proceeded to clean up after that. So he's definitely very explosive. If the match stops, obviously Brett has a lot of different lanes, so this is a really interesting match for sure.
Yeah, that explosiveness is gonna really play a role in it, but you don't see Brent hitting too often. He's got so much power to just sit there and hold you. He'll sit there and smile at you a couple times. Me and him's been in the overalls a few times. It's fun.
Yeah, I saw you holding him up pretty good in the last one, I noticed on that video. So you had him in some trouble there in the overalls.
That close. I mean, I beat him on fouls, okay? Doug Allen beat me on fouls. I can beat Brent on fouls, okay? So he did come around and beat me because it was the double elimination. Yeah.
It was a weird one. We're not actually doing that this year because of the structure, so there won't be an overall, actually.
What?
Unless you guys want to do it on the side, the after tables. I'll bracket it up if you guys want to do it later. But the way that it's set up, there'll be too much of a break between the guys that are sitting and winning because we run them straight through. So
right. Overalls is always.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to set it up on the side. We'll have about 10, 12 tables out there, so it's not. Well, we won't be any lack of tables. It shouldn't be hard to pull everybody together.
Yeah, that's when the small guys are strong in overalls. We're always the best in overalls. We get them after they wear down and come all the way down to lightweights.
What do you think about the super matches being on Friday night and then the tournament being on Saturday?
It's different, man. I've never did a tournament on a Friday night. It's gonna be different, but with it being that late, was it starting at like 6?
8.
8? Whoa, okay. Well, I'm good with that, man. I don't get off work till 8. I'll still be wired up the whole time.
Right on.
Maybe he'll be.
What was that?
I said maybe he'll sleep on me. Matches go by 3.
What about with the tournament being the next day? Do you think that affects you different by pulling the next day on the same arm?
I don't know. I think it'll be all right. I mean, you may be a little bit more sore doing it that way, but with tendon pain, usually it's just when you let go, not when you're arm wrestling. So I think I'll be okay.
Awesome. Well, I like to ask people their thoughts on that because it doesn't have to be that way, but the way I did it before with the matches in between the amateurs and the pros seemed to make the tournament take a lot longer than it actually did. So I don't think the tournament took all that long last year, but it seemed like it did because the matches in the middle kind of slow things up. So trying to streamline everything and maybe give it a different feel to the event at night. You did come to the early weigh-ins to the last one, so you saw the hotel out there. What do you think of that being the venue as opposed to the bar we were at last time?
Oh, that's going to be nice. I liked it up there.
Do you like the hotel setup or a bar setup better for tournaments?
No, that hotel would probably be better. I mean, but not for a tournament-wise, but super match-wise, definitely.
But for a tournament, you like the bars?
Yes, definitely. Bars are always better in tournaments.
Gotcha. Well, Matt, you got anything else?
No, I'm just excited to see him back on the table. You know, I was really impressed the first time I got to see him, which was, you know, your match against Billy, and then to see what you did in the tournament afterwards was highly impressive because that's very tough to do in a deep class like you did. So I'm excited to see you back on the table and see the super match happen because I think it's going to be a really good one. I think it's going to be a lot of shit talking, but it's going to be, all business when it comes down to it. So I'm excited to see you come up here and put on a show.
Yeah.
I am. I'm really glad we got you a match, and I am super excited and stoked to have you a part of it again, man. And hopefully you could do your damage here as well and maybe get one of them gladiators on the way back to Alabama.
We got twins.
One more time?
I said, yeah, we got to get them some twins.
There you go. All right, man. Well, we will see you in a couple weeks. I appreciate you talking to us.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Dalton.
All right, bye.